Good morning. Welcome to everyone in the sanctuary here and also on Facebook Live. I am Reverend Pamella Geagan. We are here at the Center for Spiritual Living, Pleasant Valley in Camarillo, California, and I'm so glad every ounce of energy in this room and out there is what brings us, because what we know is that energy is absolutely spirituality made visible in that matter. So right now, let us take this energy and we will start with just a brief opening treatment here. And right now, as Jesse comes up here too, oh, I guess not. I guess you're not playing under a meditation, right? Oh, okay. So on this note, we're just going to go within and know that there is that one power, that one presence. I call it God. You can call it Jesus, Buddha, Krishna, the thing itself. But it's what brings us together in consciousness right here and right now. And it is this love, this energetic presence that causes us to wonder and be curious, as our wonderful Rev Lynn will be talking about today. The curiosity, the wonder, the beauty of it all lies in our hearts, in our imagination, and our wonder, our curiosity. And what we think about comes about. So I look with new eyes today. I hear with new ears today. I am awake, aware, alert. And so as we begin our morning, just centering in, we give great thanks for everyone here making this love, this light made visible worldwide. I let this go, and together we say, and so it is. And so it is. We have our candles of faith. But before that, we have our Jesse singing higher and higher. Yeah, thank you, sweetheart. Help me just sing good morning.
Oh, the order of service. Oh, the order of service.
Yeah, well,
Good morning, everybody.
or disorder.
How y'all doing? Doing good? You get some thumbs up going on? All right. So, I'm going to sing a song for you about love and just how love makes people feel in general, I think.
Precious girl.
Thank you. I'm a little bit hoarse this morning. Thank you very much.
I am always amazed at your expansive interest in music.
I like
I
everything. I like
just,
everything. Thank you very
yes, no, my gosh, yes, and how you introduced us to people like Nina Simone and yeah, and who wrote the song, the Strange Fruit? Doesn't matter. It's wonderful. Yeah, yeah. Oh my God, amazing. And so now it is our moment to bring this flames of faith into perception, because it is a ceremony we perform, and we've always performed it here to honor what ties us all together. And what ties us all together is that what we talk about in that energetic presence is the matter, and the matter is always what is the highest of people who've walked this planet before, like the Rumis, like the Jesuses, like the Buddhas, is they have that fine thread of love, compassion. It is love made visible on this planet. And what we know is that everybody who walks the earth that is enlightened brings that from the spirit, the wonder, the oneness and the wonder of the world. And so in beginning this, I have two new quotes that I started last week. In every religion there is love, yet love has no religion. That's Rumi. I am in love with every church and mosque and temple and any kind of shrine, because I know it is there that people say the different names of the one God. And so on this note, as we honor all faiths, we perform the ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges again that all peoples, all faiths, all sentient beings come from that one great universal presence, which we call spirit. And fundamental to this truth is the unifying nature of the spiritual existence that lies in and through in each and one of us, that it manifests uniquely through us. So that is what we are honoring. And we light the candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of the indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. We light the candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. And we light the candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. And we light the candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. The candle is lit for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light the candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. And the candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i is lit, honoring the path of unity and peace. And one is lit for New Thought, of which we are part of, the Centers for Spiritual Living are part of, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. We light the candle right now for all of those that's here, but yet, and there are some that yet are unaware of the power and presence of the Spirit in their lives, and for the space that we are holding for them at the Center for All Religions Unnamed in this ceremony. So let us just take a moment in the silence. Because as Rumi said, silence is the energetic wisdom of the divine. All else is pure translation. Just breathing in. And now as we light the healing candle, put silently into the light the names of anyone you wish to have experienced the healing flame of God's eternal love. And now, today, as we call today good and very good, let us open up to the wonder, the way of something beyond sight and sound, just like the Twilight Zone, just opening to something brand new, as our Reverend Lynn later on shares with us. That wonder is a way. And to support that right now, we have our wonderful practitioner of the day, Buzz Noe. Yay! With thoughts on that.
Thank you, Reverend Pam.
Welcome.
Well,
My stuff.
okay, well, good morning and welcome to all of you who are here in person and also everyone online that is watching. And as we've already said, I'm Buzz Noe. I'm practitioner of the day. And I wanted to refer to Lynn's talk, but her talk will speak for itself. So what I'm going to do, like I always do, is refer to the Center for Spiritual Living theme and talk about that. And the theme of CSL for this today is vulnerability, power, and possibility. Well, when I first saw that title, it threw me off completely. But there's a couple of quotes that bring it to mind that I think are valid. I'm going to go with those. This one from Brene Brown, who has a lot of quotes online about vulnerability and how can it improve your life. And she says, vulnerability is the birthplace of innovation, creativity, and change. So that's something to keep in mind. And I always like to have a reference from our founder, Dr. Ernest Holmes. I didn't find anything that actually mentioned vulnerability specifically, but he does say this, which I think is good for us all to keep in mind, that we are to view ourselves each in the other and behold God in all. And that's what the vulnerability talk's going to be about. But I have to start with the idea that when I first saw this title of vulnerability, power, and possibility, it shocked me completely. Because I've mentioned before, I was a Navy aviator for 10 years. And the one thing that we were told to never ever do was be vulnerable. Never be vulnerable to how the wind could change, how the weather could change. Never be vulnerable to how something might show up in the airplane that's going to be a mishap, one of the controls or one of the engines going. Never be vulnerable when we're landing on an aircraft carrier to a shift in the direction or a shift in the speed or the level of the carrier. Never be vulnerable to that. And when we are flying, never be vulnerable to enemy radar that could be tracking us or to any kind of weapons that might be sent up against us. So for 10 years of my life, I was told to never be vulnerable. Now all of a sudden, the theme for CSL said, be vulnerable. And that threw me off completely. I started reading about it to find out more. And what it comes out to be, what I finally realized, was they're not talking about not being vulnerable physically. You should still not make sure that you fall off a tree or that something comes down upon you or that you are in a fire somewhere. Those things are physical vulnerability. But what they're saying is that we should allow ourselves to be vulnerable in our spiritual self. Be vulnerable to life in the spiritual sense outside of us. Be vulnerable mentally to learning more, to having things come in. Be vulnerable emotionally to allow ourselves to be more open to life. And that's what really changed my mind on how we should be vulnerable in our minds. They said being vulnerable in those aspects of life will open the door to allowing a better connection with other people, with other aspects of life, with life itself, and with the oneness of God. So if you allow yourself to be vulnerable in those ways, those connections will more improve and come to you more readily. The CSL theme told us to recognize that all people, all beings, all aspects of life are here as expressions of God. So if we're one with God, well, now we can be vulnerable to those other aspects of God to all be connected. So that's why it really came to mind that it's a very valid observation. They said that vulnerability to all aspects of life will allow us to individually live life out loud and become more authentic as to who we are. And that's very true. The vulnerability in your life will more readily allow you, as I mentioned already, to connect with other people, with other aspects of life, become in that oneness that we know life to be with the oneness of God. And if you refuse to be vulnerable in those ways, it's going to close the door to those openings. It's going to close the door to you expanding your own life, to you evolving in life. So that's the lesson that the CSL is giving us. I'm sure Lynn's talk's going to be bringing that up to mind as well. So let me pose the question that was posted in the CSL weekly theme. They said to keep this in mind for this week. What is the one thing you can begin to do, say, or think differently that may create a wider space for vulnerability to live and grow? So give that thought this week as we go out of here. What can you do to be more vulnerable in those ways to allow yourself to expand in life? And that's going to help you out. So give it some thought, as I said, this week, and it'll increase your connection to God. I want to give loving thanks to everyone here to enjoy your day. Be a little bit more vulnerable as we go through it. And also, I wanted to mention I'm going to be over in room 4 after the lesson. If you want to have treatment on anything or talk about anything, I'll be there for you. And I'm all finished. So as you might guess, we're going to hear once again from Jesse. Thank you.
Hello again. This is one of those retuning songs. So I've always been a pretty big Grateful Dead fan. I have to say, the reason why I'm actually here right now, not here, but California here, is I moved to San Francisco when I was 17 because I thought that I was going to be, I was going to be Jerry Garcia, more or less. You want me closer to the mic, huh? But so I didn't quite turn into Garcia, but I had a lot of fun. Yeah. Thank the Lord. There was one of them, and that's plenty enough. But anyway, I'm going to play a Grateful Dead song for you, and I love the chorus. I hope you do too.
Right outside this lazy summer home, you ain't got time to call your solar critic, no. Right outside the lazy gate, winter summer home, wondering where the nuthatch winters, wings a mile long, just carry the bird away. Wake up to find out that you are the eyes of the world. The heart has its seasons, its peaches and thoughts of its own. Wake now, discover that you are the song that the morning brings. The heart has its evenings, its beaches and thoughts of its own. Sometimes we live no particular way but our own. Sometimes we visit your countries and stay in your homes. Sometimes we ride your horses, sometimes we walk alone. Sometimes the songs that we sing are just songs of our own. Look now, discover that you are the eyes of the world. The heart has its seasons, its peaches and thoughts of its own. Look now, discover that you are the song that the morning brings. The heart has its evenings, its beaches and thoughts of its own. There comes a redeemer and he slowly too fades away. Behind him his car and its loaded with clay. Seeds that were sown all burst into bloom and decay. Night comes so quiet, it's close on the heels of the day. Look now, discover that you are the eyes of the world. The heart has its peaches, its seasons, and thoughts of its own. Look now, discover that you are the song that the morning brings. The heart has its beaches, its homelands, and thoughts of its own.
Thank you very much.
You still might make it, you know.
I got a chance.
We could use another Jerry Garcia. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. The throngs. Good morning, everybody. Hi out there in Facebook land. Hi, hi, hi. Hi. Someone's waving at me. I don't know what. Oh, she said hi. Great. Okay, so wonder is a way. The Tao is the way, but wonder is a way to get closer to our divinity. And so the global theme for CSL for the year is Living Out Loud. The April theme is the power of vulnerability, and today's topic is vulnerability, power, and possibility. So wonder is a way. Can you think of something that brings you to wonder? What brings you to wonder? We're all of a certain age here, so do you remember? Go back a few years, 20, 30, 40 years. Go back a few years. And remember what brings wonder into your life. What do you wonder at? And screen one, please. Vulnerability. Vulnerability invites us into the powerful experience of living authentically and the collective possibility for transformation that happens as a result. The reason I chose this quote is because it reminds me of this spiritual center, our spiritual community, in a collective possibility of transformation that happens as a result. You guys are it. You are the heart of this center. And then embracing, not avoiding vulnerability becomes a catalyst for connection, expansion, and evolution. And that is this spiritual center. So when we start to think of ourselves as not only people who come here on a Sunday and people who check in on the classes and everything, we begin to think of ourselves as the center of this, the heart of this center, then you begin to take ownership of it. Is that possible? And so that brings me to wonder, absolute wonder that you guys are here, that the perfect people are here today. Authentic power and possibility. And wonder is a way to get there. Next slide, please. Oh, look at that. Look at what we got there. I think that this is screen 4, number 4. So I need screen number, well, what is it? Yeah. No, that's the end. Keep going, keep going. Let me just say this. I'll read this to you guys. It's a happiness to wonder. It's a happiness to dream. The invariable mark of wisdom is to see the miraculous in the common. look at everything as though you were seeing it either for the first time or the last time. This is your time on earth filled with glory. And vulnerability at its very highest is loving the mystery, living in the mystery, living in wonder of the mystery, and not afraid of the mystery. And if you're afraid of the mystery, just turn it into wonder. It's that easy. It's the authentic form of receptivity to all that's provided to us. So think of everything that's provided in our lives. If I think my life is going in the tank, as they say, then I'm not seeing everything that I've been gifted with. There are things around me, and Buzz will tell you I'm so doom and gloom. I'm preaching to the choir here. I'm always doom and gloom and everything. I don't watch the news, but I'm a very, remember Peppermint Patty from Peanuts? And she used to walk around with a little cloud over her. That's me. I'm like that. I always have a little cloud over me. There's something to complain about. If I am receptive to everything I've been provided with, then I'm happy. Or I'm in wonder at all that's provided, all that's provided. And when I was tiny, very tiny, when I had a waist, everything around me was full of wonder. I had an incredible imagination. Last week we had a circle chat over there, and we can do that again this week if you want to. It's a lot of fun. So we were having our chat, and they came to me, and I said, "Hi, I'm Lynn. And when I was a child, I used to torture my dolls in the zombie chamber under my dining room table." And everyone, "Oh my God." But that wasn't all I did. I did other things. I took ballet class, and I did all the things that little kids do. But do you remember a movie? It was with Tony Curtis and what's her name? His wife, Janet Leigh. And it was about Houdini. And the movie scared me because it was big and it was scary, and he did scary tricks and everything. But at one point of the movie, they showed a representation of Pavlova, Anna Pavlova, the ballerina. And it was a very dark stage, and there was a spotlight on her, and she was way back upstage, and she was on point. And I don't know who the real ballerina was, but she was supposed to be Pavlova. And she's doing the Dying Swan. And she's doing the Dying Swan. It was so beautiful. Well, that's half a Dying Swan. She's just a little sick. She's having a bad day, right? So she did this beautiful, and the music, and I couldn't cry because my heart was in my ears. I was in total wonder. And that began my fascination with ballet as more than just ballet class. I wanted to do that. I wanted to have a bad day the way she did. You know, I was so in wonder I couldn't talk. And also when I was little, I used to go to Aunt Rosanna's house, and she would let us eat her tomatoes off the vine. And so I'd take a salt shaker and put it in my little pocket, and I'd go through, she had rows and rows of tomato vines. And I would she said, pick the small ones, because my little hand, I couldn't pick the big beefsteak. She'd pick the small ones, and this is how you do, you go like that, and open it up, and then you take your salt shaker and you salt it, and then eat it. I was in wonder that the sun cooked that tomato for me. It did. It was for me. An absolute wonder, and it was so good. It tasted like a stewed tomato. And then when I was a young woman, I had children. carrying babies. Talk about being one with nature and one with God. This is one of the most amazing things. I had two of the most amazing things. Two of them. Walking around with this incredible life within me, and it was all fascinating, and I lived in wonder. Okay, a little discomfort, and wonder at being a young mother. It was amazing. And then giving birth, and these were the days when they had just allowed you to have natural birth. So I was commando. I was doing it, and had my babies commando, and it was wonderful. And you can't imagine the wonder when they bring you this little human who's going to get very complicated very quickly, but at that moment, full of wonder. And then when there's Wonder Woman. I read her comics even before I knew how to read. I looked at the pictures. I loved her. I played her. I was her. When I wasn't Dale Evans, I was Wonder Woman. I loved her. And then when I was a young adult, I married that man over there who's, wake up. I am very buzzed. And he took me to Yosemite for the first time. And we were driving around the loop. I think our daughter and her best friend were with us as well. And we were driving along the loop, and all of a sudden, let me turn this page, all of a sudden, I saw a glimpse of something white through the trees. A lot of trees in that loop going around. Who's been to Yosemite? Then you know the experience, and we're sharing this. And the trees are here, and I'm going, what is that? What is that? The little patches of white here and there. And the trees were beautiful, but they were a problem because I saw that little patch of white. And all of a sudden, hello, gorgeous. No, that's El Capitan. I told Jesse, we're dating. I love him so much. He's so beautiful. And when I saw it for the first time, I was in wonder. I had never seen anything like that in my life. It was white. The light was perfect on it. It was glistening. There were climbers. It was the most amazing thing I'd ever seen in my life. And instantly, and this was years and years and years before I came into this teaching. I mean, many years. This was 40 years ago that I saw him for the first time. And yet I felt one with him. I loved him. I understood that I was, just like what Pam talks about when she went to the ocean. I'm all that. I'm all that. And that's what I felt when I saw him for the first time. I was in wonder at anything so large and so confident. It was so brave standing out there in the sun. It was everything. So I want to tell you how I came about this title, Wonder is a Way. I asked Marcia weeks and weeks ago, I think it was in February, if I could talk. And she said, sure, what's the title of your talk? And I said, Wonder. It just went, wonder came out of my mouth. And I said to myself quietly, Marcia didn't hear it, I said, what the hell does that mean? I just committed myself. And that's a relationship I have with Spirit. When I was with Dr. Tom Johnson, he used to say before every talk that he gave, the night before, he would say, I make a demand upon Spirit to reveal to me all that I need to know. So I'm not that close to Spirit, so I just call upon Spirit. I don't make a demand, but I said last week, a couple of times while I was working on this talk, I said, I call upon Spirit to reveal to me everything that I need to know. And my answer was, of course, 4 o'clock in the morning, right? Right? 4 o'clock in the morning, eyes wide open, and I see this picture of me in the passenger seat driving past El Capitan and trying to see it through the trees. And in those days, the trees, it was a problem. If those darn trees would get out of the way, I could see this Leviathan. I could see this. And so this is what Spirit said. Are the trees problems or possibilities? Is it something you have to go through to get through? To get to my divinity, to get to that lesson that I'm one with all life. And then it showed me El Capitan, very clear. And I said, is that an insurmountable fortress? Or is that a representation of all life, of nature? And I'm part of that, and that's the truth. I'm part of that. I'm one with that. And nature teaches us like that. Did you ever, I know we've all had loss. Did you ever, after loss, I know when I lost Bumstead. Who remembers my dog Bumstead? Yeah. And I lost Bummy, and I was out in front of the house, and I was heartbroken, and I listened to the trees. And I felt so much better because I could feel the presence of little Bumstead in the trees. The sound. I was crying. The sound. It's okay. I'm right here. I knew he was right there. And he still is. He still is. So we do share DNA with this wonderful thing called Spirit. Father, Mother, God. We're everything. We are all of that. So now I'm going to ask you again. I wonder how you feel about being the heart of this center with all of its power and possibility. And then I wonder how you all feel about being the center, the heart center of our community, because we're going into that phase of our evolution here in our center. Just want to put that out to you guys and be in wonder at the power of your oneness with Source. I have 2 quotes for you. One is by Mary Oliver. When it's over, I want to say, all my life I was a bride married to amazement. I want the bridegroom. I was the bridegroom, taking the world into my arms. And another one from Thomas Brown, of course, and you've all heard this. We carry within us the wonders we seek without us. So I'm going to end with this wonderful poem by Victoria Erickson from The Edge of Wonder. Consider soulmates to also be in the form of animals, the wind, the tides, the plants, pieces of art, the moon. Great love lives everywhere. And so it is. Thank you, guys. And so it is time for the offertory, and that, I believe, is another human being.
I was so thinking Jesse was going to come right back up. And he is very soon. Oh, and so in this moment, I just want to say thank you I loved what you said. I resonated with what you said. And when you said, I wonder about where you are in your heart, about the heart of the center going out into community, I invite everybody to think about that, because this is a very heart-centered community. And I just invite you to go within and think. That was wonderful, Lynn. Thank you one more time. Yeah, and your romance with El Capitan. We'll keep it from Buzz, but I did get it. Okay, so now together, in giving to Spirit, in giving to the divine within you that gives out and prospers, this teaching, this place does so much for so many, with so much help from not only energetic, but from sometimes very few sometimes. So we want more energy by means of God, by means of you, all of out there and in here too. So together, divine love consecrates my gift. It goes forth to heal, to prosper, and to bless. It is evidence of my conviction that God is the source and substance of my supply. I joyously contribute to the vision of my spiritual center, knowing it returns to me multiplied abundantly. And so it is. And so it is. Let's just enjoy the music as the offering goes around. And so now let us bring this together. Before I introduce Jesse for our wonderful closing song, let us bring this together in a closing treatment, taking it right into the heart. No? And yes, now let us do announcements. Yes, Jesse! I just saw Jesse, and you're a man of all seasons.
Do you want to hang out up here with me?
Oh, I want you to be center stage. You deserve it.
Okay. All right. Well, there's plenty of room up here if anybody wants to come up here. But, so I'm filling in for a different Pam that had car trouble. But, so hopefully that's temporary and inexpensive, let's be honest. So, okay. First up, we have a new class. May 3rd, 10 o'clock to 11:30 a.m. It's with Jana Lee Ornke, learning to use affirmations and clearing methods to let go of stress and negative judgments. Who doesn't want to do that? That sounds pretty good to me. You're going to need a small notebook. You need to RSVP right up there. cslpleasantvalley@gmail.com. Next up. Oh, this is cool. We have a book signing. So there's a member of our center here who just got a book published. It's a children's book for kids around 9 to 12. And the protagonist of this story is a little boy who has a learning disability, and he does not dig school. For him, school is a prison of doom. But through the book, he finds he's got a wicked pitching arm, and there's a lot of redeeming things that he finds. He makes friends, and overall, it's a really good story. If you know any children that are kind of going through the same kind of struggles in school, bring them over. May 13th, 1 to 2, Las Posas Shopping Center. It's right over there. It's not very far away. And I guess we have to RSVP to this too. But I'm sure if you just show up, I don't think they're going to turn you away. So you're going to be just fine. Oh, yeah. Next week's music is Bill Rotella. So it's always a good time. And, okay, this is going to be a cool talk too. Next Sunday's talk, Paulette Jones, Heroes, Saints, and the Meaning of Life. I love this statue. She'll be in our sanctuary next week, so you all know where. Same great place, same great time. And don't forget our bookstore. Yes, Ralph will be in the bookstore as soon as the service is over. He actually brought this to me, this cool little pack of handkerchiefs. as Cinco de Mayo's coming up, there's lots of cool stuff in there, y'all. Go poking around. Go check it out. Because look, check this out. These like vintage handkerchiefs with these cute little embroidered like ladies on them. Anyway, though, but it's a nice little 4-pack. It's a nice little pack. And there's plenty of other cool stuff in there, so go poke around. And do we have any more announcements? Is that it? Oh, no, we have, yes. Okay. Donate to our center. There's myriad ways to donate. Ducats, blue beads, anything. Venmo, PayPal, Zelle, Visa, MasterCard, Amex. You know what to do. There's a QR code there, too, so you can just scan it. If you're out in YouTube land, you can scan it. Oh, yes, and our website. It's cool and new. As of, I don't know, when did it get updated? Who knows? It was like a couple of months ago, but it's really smooth and like easy to navigate, and all the info that you could ever dream of knowing about this center is right there. And what's next? Oh, we're at the Center for Spiritual Living, Pleasant Valley. Right on. And I believe there's a closing prayer happening. Right on. You're so excited earlier. I'll leave this up here for you to.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Jesse, where were you from originally? Where were you born?
Michigan.
You have an accent. I just couldn't place it. Y'all.
My dad had a little bit of a draw.
Yeah, you've got the the Minnesota, Michigan accent. No,
It's a mishmash, I think.
Thank you. You did a great job with announcement. Yay. And as we take all of this information and about the wonder and the all around us, and my advice is when you leave here, see with new eyes, observe the world with a new vision of what is not always seen clearly, and look beyond the mountain and the trees to see the wonder of it all. Because when you look around and you see artistry moving through everything, that's what inspires you. When you see that energetic presence around the trees, around the mountain, calling to you, that is the spirit within you. So connect and protect our environment. And I'm going turning into Buzz. Connect and protect. Anyway, so let's take this all in right here, right now. And know that as I open my eyes and my heart to new wonder all around me, I see that face of God facing me. I see the artistry, the magic, the beauty in everything. I feel the spirit and passion behind it too, that brought everything to this moment, right here and right now. And I feel awakened, aware. And I see beyond the foam of the ocean, knowing that the ocean, the power and presence behind it is so much greater. I see that what made that mountain was millions of years of love, chiseling it out perfectly. I see the authentic light of consciousness that burns and reveals its nature throughout all eternity, and that light never goes out in me or in anyone. I am the eternal one. We are the eternality of spirit. And I fall fully in love with it all, for I am inseparable from it. And I value the truth of all of this in the truth and presence and the deepness of my being. And if these words hit you in your heart place, hold the feeling nature of the words, not the words themselves. For the one that knows you is you, the truth of your spiritual being. Value that, act on that in its highest and best, and be in wonder and awe of not only what flows in and through and as you as the way, as the Tao, but in the wonder and magic of it all. And I just call today good and very good, and have a wonderful, wonderful week. And so it is. And now it is Jesse with our closing song. Yay!
Hey, y'all. I feel like I was just up here. What's up, y'all? Thank you, Marcia. Appreciate you.
Raise up your hands, put a smile on your face. Talk to everyone in the human race. We're proud and we're strong, so stand up tall. Let's all get together, bring peace to the world. Now let's all get together, bring peace to the world. Let's all get together, bring peace to the world. Every man and woman, boy and girl, now let's all get together, bring peace to the world. There's a train of love beginning right here, so jump onto it and have no fear. It's yours, it's mine, we've got the call. Let's all get together, bring peace to the world. Now let's all get together, bring peace to the world. Let's all get together, bring peace to the world. Every man and woman, boy and girl, let's all get together, bring peace to the world. Shelter the homeless, open your door. Feed the hungry, give to the poor. Offer your heart and don't think small. Let's all get together, bring peace to the world. Now let's all get together, peace to the world. Now let's all get together, bring peace to the world. Every man and woman, boy and girl, let's all get together, bring peace to the world. All get together, bring peace to the world. Now let's all get together, bring peace to the world. Every man and woman, boy and girl, let's all get together, bring peace to the world.
Happy Sunday, everybody.